Today, I like to share with you my life in Montreal. Uh, when I left my ex husband in Toronto after the domestic violence, my ex husband used to threaten me that if I leave him, he will kill me. So when I was in Toronto, after leaving him, he was hunting for me, and I didn't feel safe to live in Toronto. So I moved to Montreal. I had a friend's sister in Montreal, so I visited her. I went as a visit because I didn't know how to stay there. But then, when I told the priest in the church about my situation, then he arranged a place for me to stay in Montreal. I lived in a Hawaiian lady in her house, and at that time I didn't have any job. So actually, even to pay the monthly bill rent, I didn't have any money. So, but luckily, I was able to get a job in a senior home, and uh, at the end of the month, normally we pay the rent at the beginning, but for me, in my case, I paid at the very last day, the 31st of the month. I was able to pay the rent. So I was working as on call. So whenever I didn't have the like a permanent job or anything, so whenever they call me, I will just run to the work. And then whenever there is a double shift, I will do it. So for me, there was no guarantee of my next shift. So I was doing each shift as that is my only shift, I have it. And for me, main thing I was doing the job is to pay my rent. And I was really getting more shifts, and I was really working hard. I didn't even bother about, because each shift I took it as this is my last, this is my last. So I was pushing my, I didn't have any rest, and also sometimes I ended up doing double shift while I was working. If somebody calls sick, then I will take that shift. So there are times I have worked from morning 6 o'clock to evening 10 o'clock. There are times I have started the work at evening 3 o'clock and ended the work at morning 6 or 7. So it is, a very hard job. I was um, uh, doing it to pay my needs met. And while I was doing that job, I fell down and broke my wrist. This was my first ever surgery in my life. And just because in Montreal, everybody were very new, even the family I stayed at the beginning, the Sri Lankan family, because of my husband's continuous torture on them. I never had any contact with them after I moved out from there. So only the people in the church, and they were really caring for me. And once I met a lady in the church, from Italian lady, and when she met me, I met her on a Friday, and she told me, mm, you're not my friend, you're my sister. And somehow that really kind of made me so happy. So Friday I met her. I had a breakfast after the mass on after the church, and Sunday when I went for the work, I fell down and broke my wrist. And I thought the workplace because I knew it was fractured, because I was like holding, So I expected my workplace to call the ambulance for me, but they refused. And they said, "You call your family member." And honestly, that was the first time in my life I cried because mm, I didn't have any family at that moment, and I didn't know whom to call and how to go to the hospital because I was already fractured my wrist, and that pain was not painful for me, but the pain of call your family and not knowing that I don't have the family made me to cry. Then I called this woman who told me I am her sister. And she came right away. She took me to the emergency. And it was filled with broken arms, fractured people. So the doctor, he manually fixed my uh, wrist, and he was ready to send me home. So I just asked him, "Can you kindly say?" I just saw the X-ray, and I knew it was not, aligned. So I said, "Can you kindly please send this to an orthopedic surgeon and just get an opinion from him that is it okay to be sent home?" And my friend said she's a medical doctor, and everything changed in the hospital that moment. That is the time I realized how they treat the non white or immigrants in Canada, because they were expecting that everything will be okay. And once they heard I'm a medical doctor, then right away they took me to the surgery. And actually at the beginning they said it was fully booked. The surgery will be at 4 o'clock in the evening, and I was there in the morning around 7:30. I reached the But then 8 o'clock I was already put into the and the doctor told me after that, even if it was couple of mm, minutes late, I could have lost my, because the bone was pressing the median nerve. So it was really a miracle for me to get back my hand on that day. And I'm a left hander, so I broke my left hand. So I started to do everything with my right hand. It was the most painful thing because I didn't know how to survive. And when I went back to the same home where I used to cook and feed and take care of them, nobody wouldn't want to do anything for me. So I was literally eating only. I will fry a egg, and even when I try to fry the egg shell will be, and I couldn't spread the butter on the bread, and it was just egg and butter. A bread was the only food I was able to eat because I didn't know how to cook any other food. It was impossible for me because I was chopping, and I used this Sri Lankan style of cooking. But during that time, it was miracle again. One time, suddenly, a Indian lady called me, and she said, "Can you come for dinner?" So I was with my cast on, and she was shocked, and she said the whole day something was telling her, call Maureen, and invite her for food. So whenever I go out like that for food, then they will give me enough food for me to bring home and heat it and eat. So throughout that time while I was on cast, I was able to eat. Somehow somebody invited me and gave me food. So as I was on that um, leave because at the beginning, um, they didn't the workplace, it's again a discrimination against the immigrants. I didn't know there was a compensation as I fall down on in the workplace. But luckily, after I was discharged, I asked a white couple in the church to take me um, home. So they came to pick me, and on the way, I had these forms filled by the doctor, and I told them I need to get some medicine, and the doctor said the workplace will cover it. So I went to the pharmacy, and they said I have to get a letter from the workplace. So I went to my workplace, and they refused. They said there's nothing to do with me. So I told this couple in the who were waiting for me in the car what has happened. So the man, he came with me, and he came into the my office the manager office, and he said, "Okay, we'll meet you at the court." And I didn't understand what it was all about, that the power or the rights the worker has. I didn't know that until that moment. So when he said that, she made me to sit down, and she filled every form, everything. She did everything, and they sent me to the get the workers' compensation. And during that time, while I was not working, I applied for my divorce, and also I learned French language. So it turned out for me that breaking the bonds gave me opportunity to learn French. And also with this thing, I was able to get the legal aid help to file for my divorce. So in a way, it turned out to be good for me. It was a blessing, but I have to go through it to fight my journey to get my divorce. Thank you.